Corey and this is Josh. We're from AS Solar. Today we're going to be putting together a video showing you how to install your own solar system for one of our rooftop kilowatts kits. In the meantime, we're going to introduce a couple of the products we're using, starting with the panels. In this particular case, a Symphony 250 watt model, which is going to be very similar to the ones that you're going to get in your kits. Another important part of every installation is the inverter. For our rooftop kilowatts kits, we always use micro-inverters because they're very easy to install and there's really no design work needed. In this particular case, we're going to be using a model from Sparq. This is a new product and it's designed, engineered, and built right here in Ontario. And finally, the main part of this demo video is going to be involving this product. This is called the Kinetic K-Rack system. This is just a small piece of it. This is built right here in Toronto and is 100% Ontario made. Most of what you're going to see from now on will be demonstrating on this false wall that we've built up. This particular one's only about 1.5 meters high, a little bit less, and just over 2 meters long. Panels that we'll be using, which you've already seen, they're about 1.5 meters high and 1 meter wide. So we'll have just enough room for 2 panels on this false wall, and the top and bottom of the panel will be extending just beyond it. Our wall is based on a 2-foot strut span. We've seen roofs with everything from 1 foot, 16 inches, 2 feet, all the way up to 5-foot spans between the struts. 2 feet is pretty typical though, so that's why we built this wall using that span. It's important to note that Kinetic K-Rack is built to expand across 4 feet. In this case, we'll be mounting every 2 feet. But in theory, with the strength of the rail that we've got, most locations in Ontario, we could go every other span. We'll use a few more just to show you how it's done. The first step in any installation is mounting the mounting feet into the roof. I'd just like to take a second here to introduce you to their particular product. This is called the Kinetic K-Flash. It consists of 2 parts, the actual mounting foot, which is made out of extruded or cut aluminum, and the flashing itself, which is again just a stamping of aluminum, in this case coated black. The system's going very easily, and there's literally dozens of products like this on the market, but the one big advantage of the K-Flash system is 2 lag bolts. So for Ontario, where snow lords are concerned, this is going to give you extra strength. A lot of systems only have 1 mounting bolt. Another feature, a little bit more minor, is this little K-shaped indent on the back of the panel, which is where it gets its name. For our demo, we'll be filling this outline right here with a small amount of sealant, which just helps the water flow off. That'll become more obvious once we show you how to mount this. Quick note about placement. We're going to put this part on, the actual foot, first, and then the flashing will go on top of that. So just to give you a sort of an idea of how it's going to look when it's finished, this plate simply slides directly under the shingles. It's very simple. And you keep going up until the horizontal line on the flashing is just hidden under the shingles. So if I hold up my footing, just put it under by hand, and then I'll take the flashing away, and you can see about where the footing's going to end up. Generally speaking, it's about 2 or 3 fingers away from the top row of shingles to the top of the foot. Now we'll mark all of this out while we're showing you how to install it, but that's a good rule of thumb, 2 or 3 fingers away from the shingle. Now we showed you the back of the roof where you could see the 2-inch spacing of the 2x4s. But once you come back out onto the front again, you can see it's really not that easy to see where they are. And if there's one thing you're going to have trouble with, it's not going to be the installation, it's simply going to be finding these pieces of wood behind the roof. Now in this case, I know that the first one is 24 inches in from the edge, so that makes my job easier. But you're going to have to do something very similar on your own roof. Go up into the attic, find those pieces of wood and mark them. There's various ways to find it from the top as well. You've probably seen some of the high-end stud finders that are out there on the market. They all work very well. You can even just tap the wood. I can sort of feel the stud right there. It's not so hard to find. But accurately measuring those pieces of wood is definitely key to laying out the entire system. And we'll show you why once we get to the drilling in just a moment.